Hi, I'm Stephanie Allen, and I have an absolute passion for helping people to remove the obstacles that stand between them and a better quality of life. And today I thought I might try and help you in some way by providing you with a little more insight in regards to heartbreak and provide you with just a couple of tools to help you possibly gain some control back over your emotions. At some point in our lives, we all experience some form of loss, and there is nothing that can feel worse to us at the time than feeling heartbroken. You know, I actually remember feeling heartbroken myself. It affected me in so many ways. I just couldn't function properly. My thoughts, they were constantly stuck on repeat. My appetite totally disappeared. I felt physically sick and emotionally worn down. It was mentally and emotionally crippling, and I felt totally depleted in every sense of the way. Now, working as a coach and a counsellor, I understand more about loss and what heartbreak actually encompasses. So I can now understand more in depth why it can have such a severe impact within our lives. When you end up breaking up with a partner unexpectedly and it's not your choice, it can almost feel like someone has just suddenly pulled the rug literally from under your feet so quickly that absolutely nothing looks or even feels the same in your life anymore. Your whole model of the world, life as you knew it, suddenly feels like it has been smashed into 1,000 smithereens. You know, I think we can all have a tendency to feel this way after a heartbreak. We may look into the future and see that all our dreams and our hopes have suddenly disappeared just in the blink of an eye. And we may even find ourselves looking back to the past where we feel stuck because we are constantly ruminating day after day, hour after hour, asking ourselves the same old questions over and over again. What could I have done differently? What should I have known that I didn't know then? And obviously this is both mentally and emotionally exhausting in and of itself. Or maybe in the event that we discovered our partner has been cheating on us, we may find ourselves feeling as though we've been totally abandoned and feel totally rejected. And we may be telling ourselves all types of unhelpful stories about ourselves, such as we just aren't good enough, along with a whole other list of not good enough stories about ourselves. You know, if you think about it, this is almost like a form of self-harm. The more we tell ourselves these hurtful and cruel stories, the further we find ourselves spiraling downwards. And you know, if this is you, please recognize that because something bad has happened to you, it doesn't mean that you are bad. And it doesn't mean you are not enough. Another thing we may find ourselves doing is questioning the whole relationship itself. You know, especially if all of a sudden we have the realization that the person we thought we were with just wasn't that person at all. And alongside thinking that, we also have the evidence to back our thoughts up. This may be something like discovering your partner has been leading a double life ever since you first met. Or another form of loss is discovering for the very first time the real reason your relationship has been so toxic is not because you were the crazy one and you were the problem like your partner constantly tells you, but it's because you have been a victim of narcissistic abuse. In the extremely unfortunate event this has happened to you, you may not only feel the future you thought you had, has suddenly disappeared. But along with that, you may also feel the certainty you thought you had about the past has disappeared too. Because what you felt was real at the time, it wasn't real at all. This can feel almost like loss on top of loss. The recognition that your reality wasn't your reality at all. And if this has happened to you, I know that this can be a very traumatic event, to say the least. Heartbreak is a complex psychological injury, and it impacts us in a multitude of ways. It has all the hallmarks of traditional loss and grief. You know, we may suffer with insomnia, and the sleep deprivation in of itself will make us feel physically and mentally exhausted. Our thoughts will feel like clothes just stuck in a washing machine, stuck on full spin, constantly going around and around in circles. And we will find it extremely difficult on occasions to focus on anything other than our loss. It may even feel for some of you almost like you have a limb missing. It will feel like you have a massive empty void inside, and nothing that you do can even fill this void at all. You see, unlike when a person sadly dies, our ex is still out there and we have unfinished business. They're still out there and they're getting on with their lives. And so we can be left feeling stuck on the middle of this, what feels like emotionally crippling roundabout. We are stuck in one place while the whole world is just going around and everyone is just carrying on as normal. And we are stuck and we are in pain. If your partner had died, no one would even dream of telling you, oh, just go and find someone else. But if you have friends and family that are telling you this, please remember that they truly mean well, but they are unable right now to recognise where you are stuck. And where you are stuck is in a form of the grieving process. You may feel you were physically, mentally, and emotionally unable to move on. Please don't feel bad about this, even if your friends are telling you constantly you should be over your ex by now. They are not you, and grief affects people in different ways. And the only way out of grief is through. Also, alongside this, understand love is almost like an addiction. Our brains respond after a breakup in the same way that a drug addict's brain responds during withdrawal. We obsessively keep thinking about the person we love, because the person we love is the source of our pain. We tend to convince ourselves we need them in order for us to feel better. We may also find ourselves desperately searching for ways to reach out and contact them and to be around them in some way or another in order to make ourselves feel better, to have our fix, even if it's just for a brief moment in time. You see, getting over heartbreak is a bit like tug of war. A part of you desperately wants to push forwards and to feel normal and feel better again, whilst the other part of you just keeps on pulling you back, because you tend to feel that you can't be normal again without your ex. The ex is the cause of your pain, so you feel that having your ex back is going to make you feel better. And you know, the most hardest, difficult thing to do when you feel heartbroken is to accept that it's over. However, the truth is, when your mind is feeding off hope, it is the hope itself that can be so destructive. Think of the hope in the sense of ripping off a plaster, but ripping it off very, very, very slowly, prolonging the pain as long as you can. Holding on to hope can literally feel this painful. And if you are constantly thinking about how amazing your partner was and keep going back to the same old stories and the same old memories and thinking how amazing they are, recognize that you are stuck in a cycle of idealizing them. You are viewing your ex through one tinted filter, and to balance this out, make a list of all their faults and view it every single time you find yourself idealizing them. You see, your mind will try and tell you that they were perfect, but you must try and remind yourself they were not, and neither was the relationship. To slowly get yourself out of thinking about your partner 24/7, begin by selecting a time within each hour to give yourself just 5 tiny minutes to break from the thoughts you have stuck on repeat. You know, you can even set an alarm on your phone to do this. Just make sure you do it. And for those 5 tiny minutes, you have to find something healthy that either makes you feel really good inside or something that both relaxes your mind and your body. Do whatever feels right for you. I know some of my clients tell me that they like to dance around to upbeat music, or they like to exercise, and that's a really great way of coming out of your head and into your body and lifting up your spirits. Other people like to do some exercising, because that releases endorphins and helps them to feel better. Others may watch YouTube videos that cheer them up or make them laugh. And some people might do guided mindfulness in order to relax their body and their mind. And others might even do tasks that they find relaxing, such as painting or even colouring or decorating a house. And if none of this works, counting backwards from 100 might help you just to block out all the thoughts. So each day or each week, depending on whatever you feel is best for you, try and increase the amount of time within the hour you free yourself from your thoughts. You free yourself from the thoughts you have had stuck on repeat. If you are able to stick to this, eventually you will feel like you have gained some control over your life, and that in itself is priceless. So just a quick recap: don't beat yourself up if you're struggling to get over your breakup. You are not alone. Many people go through this. Remind yourself loss can present itself very similar to an addiction. This is why it can feel hard to let go of hope, and holding on to hope is destructive to your relationship. Also, remind yourself of your ex's bad points. Idealizing them keeps you holding on to hope. And set aside 5 minutes within each hour to begin with, just to put your foot on the brake of that emotional roller coaster, on those ruminating thoughts, and allow yourself to feel better. I really hope you find these recommendations useful. However, if you are stuck or find that your rumination is leading to significant distress or impairment within your life, for example, negatively affecting your ability to work as normal, or negatively impacting your relationships with your family and friends or colleagues, or if you find it such a struggle to just get through the day and you are constantly battling with depression, please seek some form of professional help. Get an appointment with your local GP if you're able to. Ask to be put on the waiting list for counselling if possible. However, if you don't want to wait and you are able to seek private counselling, then do that. And if you are unable to do that, please reach out to a helpline and speak to somebody there. You see, you need to recognise that while you may feel you just want to shut people off and close the door on everyone right now and push them away, that what you really need is to connect to people more than ever, and especially if you're feeling this low right now. So if you are suffering from some form of loss, I really hope that you have found something out of this video useful today. Obviously, use this information like a buffet. You can take it or leave it. Just do what's right for you as an individual. And if you found this video helpful and you would like to watch other self-help videos similar to this, then please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and please send this video to a friend if you feel that it may be helpful to them. And thank you for your time, and take care.